morning. Okay, here we go. One, three, four. Yes. Good morning, everyone. So nice to see you. Welcome to our service for Sunday, October 3rd, 2021. From those of us here in person to those of you viewing online, we send our warmest greetings and gratitude that you've chosen Unity of Wimberley to connect with. For those of you that are in the room, you've noticed we have a special visitor today, Kit's beloved dog, Caddy. She gets a little anxious if she's left back in the office, so she is going to be among us today. If you have any issues, our designated dog wrangler today is Trish McWaters, so you can feel free to call on Tricia if Taddy is needing some attention, which I don't think she is right at the moment. As we come together again in person, let's reflect on our common journey over the last 19 months. We begin our healing. It sounds long when we say it that way, doesn't it? Yeah. It has been long. We begin our healing work as we enter a new phase of living in the world and with each other. Faith is the firm foundation on which we stand. Faith reminds us that we're never alone, my friends, especially in times of sorrow and change. Even when the unthinkable happens, even when it feels our pain is too heavy to bear, the still quiet voice within beckons us to remember that God abides always and forever. And now let's join Reverend Kit Holmes, Katie Marie, and Masumi Jones. Masumi, good to see you again, too, as we sing our welcome song together. And you may stand if you'd like.
Please do. 1, 2, 3, 4. Welcome to this loving place. There are no strangers here. You remember this song? Welcome to this place of open hearts. Thank you for being here. You're welcome anytime, every time, just the way you are. Welcome to this joyful place. Let the celebration begin. Namaste, namaste. Come on in. Welcome to this loving place. There are no strangers here. Welcome to this place of open hearts. Thank you for being here. You're welcome anytime, every time, just the way you are. Joyful place, let the celebration begin. Namaste, namaste, come on in. Namaste, namaste, come on in. Namaste, namaste, come on in.
Good morning, everybody. Y'all are a beautiful bunch, I'll tell you. Before we start, I want to tell you that my mother is making her transition. I'm hoping she can follow Santa through her portal. So if you'll just keep that in your heart. Thank you. And God's grace is going to take me through this. Good morning, everyone. Please join me as we affirm our statement of faith together. There is only one presence and one power active in the universe and in my life, God the good, omnipotent. And now let us unite our spirits as we hold this vision for our church. We are an open-hearted spiritual community, powerfully transforming our world by honoring the sacred in all. And we practice this mission together. Inspired by our shared spiritual awakening, we offer practical teachings that empower healthy, abundant, and meaningful living. And today's daily word is faith. Through faith, I create the good I desire. Faith is my guiding light. It keeps me hopeful when I'm tempted to doubt and cheerful when I might otherwise feel gloomy. Faith tells me that even when the sky appears cloudy, the sun is shining brightly above the clouds. Faith gives me a secure footing in the present as I plan for the future. Faith is the assurance that I am never alone, and that everything I do is divinely inspired. Every step I take in the direction of my aspirations is fueled by faith that they can come to pass. All the wisdom, power, love, and strength of God are mine to express as only I can, leaving timidity and hesitancy behind. I use these divine attributes boldly and with confidence. Faith shows me the way forward. And from Hebrews, now faith is the assurance of things hoped for, the conviction of things not seen.
That's okay.
Sorry. Just wanted to mess up so you know it was still me.
Let us bow our heads. Mother, Father, God, what a joy today is. With all that we have gone through and all that we are going through, yet we are here. We're here on this beautiful hill, and we celebrate this opportunity to be back and together and to continue holding in prayer all of those who have transitioned, are transitioning, and are dealing with a new world in which we have this virus. But yet we know we have what we have within us. We have the power of the divine, and we go forward and we continue to love the most important power of all. Thank you, God. Amen.
Broken hearts and broken dreams, bring it all and everything. Bring the song you fear to sing, all is welcome here. Even if you broke your vow 1,000 times, come anyhow. We're stepping into the power of now, and all is welcome here. See the Father, see the Son, reunited, here they come, dancing to the sacred drum, they know they're welcome here. See the shaman and the mighty priest, see the beauty and the beast, singing I have been released, and I am welcome here. Sing some la-las with me. La, 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 la. La, 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 la. La, 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 la. La, 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 la. La, 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 la. La, 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 la. Stood alone at the gateless gate, too drunk on love to hesitate. And to the winds I cast my fate and the remnants of my fear. I took a deep breath and I leapt, and I awoke as if I'd never slept. Tears of gratitude I wept, I was welcome here. Bring your laughter, bring your tears, your busy lives and your careers, and bring the pain you've carried for years. All is welcome here. Freedom's not so far away. There's only one price we have to pay. Live your dreams till they fade away and let them go. Wake up, let them go. La 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 la. La 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 la
Hi, y'all. You know, I was thinking for a moment that Kit is Taddie's emotional support person, but it seems that Taddie is interested in making contact with everybody, so that's a nice thing. It's kind of like having a baby in the congregation, isn't it? Yeah. Been a while. says the young dad. So it's so good to be back with you again. I know that it's been a loss for you, and not to have this. You know, we had that brief optimistic period during the summer, and then not. But I have to let you know that it is difficult for those of us who are up here to not have your energy. It's really different. It has stretched my professional skills to speak to a camera only, and now my skills are rearranging themselves yet again to speak to you and the camera for our online audience. So it's moving and stretching. It's very dynamic, certainly not static. My friends, I'm going to attempt today to merge together some sociological phenomena that have occurred over the last 19 months with our spirituality. You know, that song that Kit just played has got kind of a chant feel to it. You know, when we were early humans on the planet, so I'm going way, way back, when we were on the planet, it's not like people found each other and went, "Hi, nice to meet you," and then went off by themselves. They said, "Hi, I see you're not going to kill me. Let's work together." And so they began to gather themselves in communities, in tribes. And it's been that way for a very, very long time. We sometimes, I think, live in the illusion that we are not tribal people, but we are. And our tribalism can be nurturing, and our tribalism can be toxic, and we've seen both. It has been a tremendous loss for many of us not to have had this in the form that we're used to. And I don't think we'll ever take that for granted ever again. And add to that all the other losses that we've had. And what I will say is that we have endured a collective trauma with each other. We're still so in it right now that I don't think we can even comprehend the level at which we are affected by the trauma that we have been and still are experiencing. And the thing that's important for us to know is that we need each other more than ever to begin to heal our trauma. We've gone through an enormous societal change. We've gone through enormous reassessment. We've gone through enormous grief. We've gone through migration of peoples from one place to another. I went through my own migration, albeit of, a not very far one. But the change for me has been dramatic to be in a more rural area than I was. And it's welcome change. It's nurturing to me. And we've also gone through a reassessment that has benefited us in that we have reordered our priorities. We have begun to focus more on what's important to us and build those things up so that they become a more permanent part of our lives. We may have gotten better about our boundaries with other people, with our family, with our spouse. We've had to navigate every aspect of our living. Oh, and throw in a climate crisis that we had in February, in which the things that we thought would take care of us did not. So we lost our electricity, our water, any number of things, our ability to move around. Because it was an extraordinary situation, but we were traumatized in the midst of our trauma by that other trauma. So we've gone through a lot. And I know I've read a whole lot about this in my news feed and in journals and visiting with other ministers. There is an uptick in insomnia. There's an uptick in relationships falling apart. There's an uptick in feeling comfortable in our own skin. And so we need each other to get through this. We truly do. You all know that one of my favorite sources of inspiration is for the Center for Action and Contemplation with Father Richard Rohr. And there are many on the staff there and contributors to that organization. I really appreciate reading what they have to say. And I just acquired a book that's just been published called Crisis Contemplation, Healing the Wounded Village. And it's by the Reverend Dr. Barbara A. Holmes, not related as far as we know to Ernest Holmes or to Kid Holmes, but maybe. I don't know. And what she brings to this is just incredible wisdom. And she also incorporates not just the crisis that we've gone through this last year, but the crisis of indigenous peoples, the crisis of the disenfranchised, the crisis of the marginalized, the crisis of being people of color, the crisis of trying to keep up with the times that we live in. And I want to share with you her preamble to this. It was the summary for today's service. At the center of every crisis is an inner space so deep, so beckoning, so suddenly and daringly vast that it feels like a universe. It feels like God. When the unthinkable happens and does not relent, we fall through our hubris toward an inner flow, an abiding and rebirthing darkness that feels like home. And that is where we're called to travel. That is what we're called to in order to begin to affect our healing as people. Even if your life, I don't know anybody actually whose life hasn't been affected by someone passing from this earth in the last 19 months, if not from the COVID virus, then from other causes, and their death seems magnified in its impact because of the situation in which we've been living. November 1st will mark 1 year since my father passed. And my dad was a tremendous clergy person in the area where he lived. He impacted thousands of people. And so for his memorializing to have been limited to what could be accommodated at a graveside service was sad for me, because I wanted people to be able to come together and celebrate who he was to them. And that just wasn't possible. So those little losses we can't ever recapture. But even if you weren't touched by that, we are all touched by the astounding amount of unexpected death that has occurred. It affects us all psychically more than we might know. So if you've been feeling a deep discontent, disorderliness, no wonder. No wonder. This has been a time that we've had to make it up as we go, all of us. And churches have been tremendously impacted, tremendously. Dr. Holmes says that we have been in a planetary and environmental and health crisis. We've lost control, we've lost agency over things. And a lot of times when we're upset, a lot of times when we don't even know what it is we're feeling, we can't put a finger on it and say, oh yes, I'm feeling sad. Oh yes, I'm feeling angry. Oh yes, I'm feeling lost. Oh yes, I'm feeling fear. Sometimes we don't know what it is, right? We just have this mess of stuff going on inside. And for no wonder. We've just got all this stuff going on. And so when we have all these unidentified, unexplainable feelings going on, they'll come out sideways. I have found myself a couple of times doing just fine. And then one little thing will happen, and I just blow up to my own embarrassment. And it might be because the dog didn't go outside quick enough for me. You know? It could be that I wasn't paying attention and I dropped an egg in my kitchen floor. And then I just want to just mess it all up. Sorry, that's me. I don't know if you do that internally or externally, but you know. And then I stand back and look at myself and go, wow, that was a big reaction for that little thing right there. And that's, I'm not the only one, am I? I mean, I hate to think that I just stood up here and revealed all that to you, and I'm the only single person on the planet that's got that kind of unexpected, immature response to things. But it comes out sideways. We end up getting mad at other people, at institutions, at grocery stores. We end up just pissed. And we've got to have somebody for it to land on. We end up confused, and we want to blame somebody else for our confusion. We end up tired. There's just a little identification going on there. We end up tired, and then we're mad at our lives because we're tired. We're not even mad at ourselves. We're just mad at life. And so it's important for us to be patient and to have the wherewithal at some point, hopefully closer to the upset than farther away, to be able to look at it and say, well, wow, yeah, that was happening right then and there. I get it. I get it. And then usually we have, internal or external tears because we've had all these losses. Loss of being able to manage our own lives the way we're used to managing them. So I was noticing as I was putting this talk together that the master teacher, Jesus, seemed to speak to crowds a lot. We have some examples of one-on-one stuff, but usually that even happened on the edge of a crowd. And I've always thought, and this is what's fun for me about the work that I do, I've always thought that the reason Jesus preached to crowds is because people just lived that way back then. They were just living outdoors. They didn't have TVs. They just lived outdoors. But I think there was more to it than that. Yes, that was, the marketplace, the countryside, people lived in villages. Yeah, I get that. I get that about Jesus. But I also think he knew that the collective experience would be more powerful for each individual. The collective consciousness, the collective surge of understanding. I think he understood that human dynamic and never cracked a sociology book in his life or a psychology book. He knew. And so the experience of being with a group was healing for everyone that was there, whether they directly interacted with Jesus or not. Even if they didn't understand his words, which they often did not, they got something out of it because they were sharing it with other people. Pretty exciting dynamic when you think about it that way. It's no wonder, I spoke a couple of weeks ago about the loaves and fishes. It's no wonder there was more than enough, because the collective consciousness moved toward taking care of everyone. That's what it moved toward. Instead of saying, no, this is mine, I'm not sharing. I have just enough for my family, and I'm keeping it. People said, no, let's share. I'll give you a little bit of mine. I brought some figs, and I will trade a piece of lamb for 4 figs. And then I didn't eat all these figs. I have more to share with other people. You see, it just rolled and rolled and rolled on itself. So Jesus knew the power of us coming together to be healed in the same robes that we got injured in. You see, he said, bring the little children to me. They have a place here. And we're those little children too. It doesn't have anything to do with lifespan. It has to do with the fact that still inside us, despite everything, is an innocent, yearning soul seeking healing and connection in every one of us. And it's greater, that yearning is greater than our sorrow. It's greater than our bad health. It's greater than what we've got in our pockets. It's greater than who we think we are. In the end, we are all innocent souls longing for healing and connection. Are we not? And so, not having this here has forced us into having community in a way that is unfamiliar. We have to seek it. You got to turn the computer on. You got to go to the place to click on and open up the live stream. Got to come to that Zoom class. You don't have the impetus of seeing the crowd, of being in the crowd. So we've had to seek our spirituality. Let me tell you what I think is going on. Kit and I have had many conversations about this. What I think is going on is that there's a big sifting that's happening. We're getting sorted out. And my friends, what this may mean is that we lose some of our companions. It's not their time to step up to that next level of seeking, of being healed, of being in community differently. This is difficult. Jesus had that lesson about the way is narrow. I keep getting more dimensions to that lesson all the time. I like to think narrow doesn't mean it's hard and we're squeezing through and there's not enough room. It's more that our focus has to get more and more and more intentional. That's the narrow way. It's this laser focus on our spiritual journey. It's this laser focus on, it's important for me to connect. How shall I do that? Do I have the yearning to connect, even if it's a pain in my backside? I said it right here in church and across the waves. It's hard, friends. On the other hand, it's so rewarding that it's worth it. It's so rewarding that I know I can feel your energy today is buoyed up because you're here with your companions. Just breathe that in for a second. And now I want you to breathe in all the people who can't be with us this morning for whatever reason. And all the people who are far away from us, who are part of this community. I want you to breathe in your connection with them. That's part of the intentionality that I'm talking about. Let the golden tentacles, if you will, of your divine spirit reach out to others. Right now, that's all it takes is intention. Positive regard and goodwill toward others. That's prayer, my friends. That is prayer. Last week we had a very tender time speaking about our friend Santa. And I am absolutely knowing that what you brought to this, all of your goodness, all of your intentional love towards Santa and her family, buoyed her up through that portal about which I spoke. And so, less than 24 hours after we were together here in this setting, on your screens, Santa left this earth and the physical body that she inhabited here. And I am certain that she went on the wings of love, the love of many, many, many people, including us. What a gift you gave her and her family. Do not underestimate the power of that. And thank you. Thank you for being companions here and a companion to Santa in Colorado. And in a couple of weeks, we'll celebrate her life together. Just a couple of things I want to pass on to you because they are so good. There is a Listen to this. Contemplation after or during crisis is a stillness in the aftermath of a primal scream, the abyss of unknowing, and the necessity of surviving the trauma together. So do you get the sequence here? Primal scream, abyss of unknowing, necessity of surviving the trauma together, stillness. That's where we are. If you need a point in time, that's where we are. And so she cautions us that the hardest thing to let go of is the idea of spiritual attainment, specifically enlightenment itself. Okay, get that. She's saying, let go. Let go. Oh, I'm going to attain this spiritually. That's not the way we say it, but I am going for my enlightenment. She said, let go of that. The ego's games and desires must be exhausted before any kind of finding or door opening will happen. Man, we are so not used to that kind of letting go. To let go of even the idea of spiritual enlightenment, because we can try to grasp onto it like other things that satisfy us when we're uncomfortable. She's saying, let go of everything. Let go of everything. Now, if you just stopped breathing, I want you to go ahead and resume now, because we draw strength from each other as we do this. We're not alone in the doing. As a matter of fact, a week from Wednesday, and this is in your newsletter that you got, we're going to have an in-person and live stream, same time, meeting to share our stories, to start working through our trauma. Be looking for some ideas for you to consider before we come to that. Some things, some areas of focus for you to have before we come together. So be on the lookout for that. Because what we are right now are what she calls liminal entities. Liminal means that you're between one thing and another. Can you grab hold of that feeling? That liminal is not necessarily, oh, that feels great. Liminal is like, oh my God. It's not this and it's not this. Where am I? We're neither here nor there. Neither betwixt or between the positions assigned and arrayed by law, custom, convention, ceremonial stuff. So everything that we've had before, we're in between that and what's next. So if somebody says, how are you feeling today? You can say, oh, thank you, I'm feeling liminal. I am liminal today. Look it up. I bet you're liminal too. Leah, maybe we should get buttons. Hello, my name is Liminal. I'll mess with people a little bit. Liminality is frequently likened to death, to being in the womb, to invisibility, to darkness, to the wilderness, to an eclipse of the sun or the moon. That's where we are. So I am giving you just a little bit of something to hold on to. Just hold on to the idea that we are betwixt and between. We are moving toward. And the paradox is not to reach for it and grasp for it. It's to let it be and let it unfold and stay awake. Just stay awake. Just pay attention. And if you need to cry, cry. If you need to go out and throw rocks at something where you won't damage people or property, do that. Do that thing. I was reminded on my way in this morning, it was like a little message from God. It said, even a stagnant pond nurtures life. So I'm not comparing our lives to a stagnant pond, except it can feel like that sometimes, can it? There's a little ditch, I guess, a creek, that I drive over on the way to my neighborhood. And unless it's been raining and the water's flowing, it's beautiful when it does. Unless that's going on, it's kind of icky looking. You know, it has a little film on the top, lots of algae. And lo and behold, yesterday in the midst of that, there were at least 7 turtles sunning themselves on a branch in the water. Just as happy as they could be. And I was like, Jill, be the turtle. Just be the turtle. That's a better button. Hi, welcome to Unity of Wimberley. We are liminal, and we are turtles. I hope nobody tuned in just now because so we have things to come, don't we? We have stuff to work through. And we draw our strength, just like the people on the hillsides and in the villages and in the marketplace. We have that collective strength to come together and learn from each other, to learn from all the teachers that you are, and to build ourselves into whatever is next. That's exciting. But we also have to acknowledge that we are in need of some healing. We are. As we go into our meditation today, I'm going to invite you to hold in your mind and heart all those that you know, all those who come to your awareness, that for whom prayer would be a welcome thing. Not just to them, but to you. And so we're going to remember Santa's family, for example, Marilyn's mom, our friends Scott and Carol Price, and Beverly Milwee, and so many more, so many more. So, beloved, during this meditation, seek not, just be. And you will notice that your mind will start casting about, looking for something to grasp onto, and it's just not important at this moment for it to do that. Just be. Let your soul be watered by the rain of spirit falling gently. Making the ground of your being the soil of your soul. Fertile and ready to receive. And yes, you may have a great insight or enlightenment right now, but not because you're seeking it, just because you're being. And the insight or enlightenment may not come to you until tomorrow or next week or next month. But right now, you are readying yourself. Allow yourself to be joined by names and faces and beings that are precious to you, that you may not even know are precious to you. See, the working of Spirit is mysterious. How can we direct that? We cannot. We let it direct us. Bless your sorrow. Bless your uncertainty. Bless your grief. Bless your unknowing. Bless your joys. Bless what is. Bless the space between this and that, between this moment now and the next moment and the one after that. Beloved, everything you need is right here, right now. Embrace it. Breathe. Give thanks. Let it all be. And give thanks and let it all be. And when you're ready, let your eyes open softly in the dim light so that you're fully grounded in your body, so that everything in the last few moments now inhabits your flesh. And because we're limited in our embracing of each other physically, I'm going to hold out my hands to all of you, and I'm going to ask that you hold out your hands to us here. See your friends. See these faces that you love. Look upon them. This is important. Remember, you have the soft gaze of Spirit right now, nothing to fear. And I'm going to ask you just to send a little bit of attention to the back, to our steadfast team, who has made sure that we could continue to be with you. Thank you, beloved. I am right now having chills up and down. So I'm giving thanks for the movement of the Holy Spirit through you and through this room. And so it is. Amen. That's lovely. And so now, with our grateful hearts, Let us practice our prosperity consciousness as we circulate our good. Unity of Wimberley is a tithing church, meaning we tithe back to the world the prosperity we receive as an affirmation of our oneness with the divine flow. We thank you for the gifts that you've sent, and we affirm the gifts you're sending now. We know that Spirit is working through us to supply all that is needed for our community and beyond. As a reminder, here are some ways you can share your gifts with Unity of Wimberley. You can text GIVE to the number on the screen. You can click the donate button on our website. You can mail a check to 455 White Wings Road, Wimberley, Texas 78676. Tap Give on our church app. And if you're on Venmo, search for Unity of Wimberley and give that way. And now, let us together offer this affirmation of abundance. Divine love, as me, blesses and multiplies all that I am, all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive. Thank you, ushers. You're in the right place, Carol. You're great. And now with our full hearts, let us bless these gifts together. We bless these gifts and the givers with our love and gratitude. And now as we move toward the end of our service, I'd like to share a few things with you. I first of all want to thank Reverend Kit Holmes. So good to have you in the house, girl. Mwah. Katie Marie and Masumi Jones, one of the all-time great girl bands right here. Yes. Please join us next Sunday, October 10th. As Reverend Kit Holmes shares her message, Going Farther Together. As we resume our in-person services, there are no reservations required, but we are asking for proof of vaccination. So please bring your vaccination card with you or a negative COVID-19 test taken within 72 hours of the Sunday service. We will be masked, and at this time we're asking our children, at least for this month, as well as our vulnerable members, to watch the services online from home. If you would like to, you can send in a photo of your vaccination card to Leah at business@unityofwimberley.com. If you got a blue bracelet today, just keep it with you. Wear it when you come back the next time. It'll serve for your check-in. Our October Wednesday night Zoom class will complete during this month Spiritual Economics, The Principles and Process of True Prosperity by Eric Butterworth. This week on Wednesday, we'll cover chapters 8 and 9. So you can join us at any time for this class. It's a good class. We have some good discussions. We get some good insights there. We have a few books at the church. You can email Leah for a copy, or you can pick one up today. It's a good read, even if you don't join the class. Please make plans to attend our upcoming HUG meeting. HUG means Help Unity Grow, and those of you who have been around for a while, before me even, are familiar with HUG meetings. They're a good place for us to share. That meeting will be on Wednesday, October 13th at 6 p.m. with me, Reverend Kit Holmes, the board, and we'll meet in person and live stream. Masking as well as that same proof of vaccination or negative test are required to come to the in-person part. Church members will be able to text questions and comments to Leah during the meeting for a real-time response. If you are not, as I said, we'll be sending out some ideas for you to consider, some questions for you to answer in advance so that you have a little bit of time to organize your thoughts. If you're not able to attend, you'll be able to send in any responses or questions via email as well. Tune in to Facebook Live every Tuesday and Thursday at 1 p.m. as Reverend Kidd and I share readings, meditations, and affirmations. You can drop off your Feed My People donations, your non-perishables, in the front foyer, or you can send your donations directly to the Crisis Bread Basket at P.O. Box 1721, Wimberley, Texas 78676. If you have any questions, concerns, prayer requests, please email Kit, me, both, either, at minister@unityofwimberley.com and asl@unityofwimberley.com. Our prayer chaplain, Molly, is available to pray with you after the service today if you'd like some one-on-one prayer. Also, out in the fireside room, we've moved it from the back of the room. We have our blue prayer request sheets, our gratitude pages. Place them in the prayer box in that fireside room on the buffet. We will pray over those for 30 days and then send them on to Silent Unity in Kansas City, where they'll be prayed over for another 30 days. We're going to get you covered. If this is your first visit with us, or if your contact information has changed, please consider filling out another blue card on the visitors table in the front foyer so that we may connect or reconnect with you, get your information updated. And now here at the end of our service, my friends, it's gone by so quickly. Here at the end of our service, I invite you to stand, to lift your hands as we pray together our prayer for protection. Together, the light of God surrounds us. The love of God enfolds us. The power of God protects us. The presence of God watches over us. Wherever we are, God is, and all is well. Amen. Thank you all. It was wonderful to see you.
I release, I let go, I let Spirit